17th century Pasha, viewing the Polish ambassador's arrival, had dryly remarked that he'd brought too many people to sign a peace and too few to fight a war. Those days had vanished, like Poland itself. By 1842, Stanislav Palievsky still maintained an Ottoman sufferance, the diplomatic status of his forebears, but Marta was his only retinue. His retinue liked to keep the pantry for herself. "I'll go through," Yashim said. The pantry was lit by a sash window that reached from floor to ceiling and overlooked the unkempt gardens at the back of the house. Palievsky, in shirt sleeves and braces, was bent over a bench, fiddling with an assembly of rods and tubes. He had a rag in his hand and a smear of oil on his forehead. Yashim stood in the doorway, watching his friend. "Hello, Yashim," Palievsky glanced up. "Has Marta sent you to clear me out?" "Not yet." "Mechanics?" "Or art, Yashim. Just look at this." He tossed a dull metal tube across to Yashim, who caught it and turned it to the light. "It's a gun." Yashim turned the barrel between his fingers, observing the Damascene work beneath the tarnish. "Quite a piece. Better, Yash. Can you read the gunmaker's name?" He hummed tunelessly while Yashim inspected the barrel more closely. "Paris. Drouet." Palievsky reached for the barrel and began rubbing it furiously with a rag. "Boutet, the finest gunmaker in France. Fowling piece, a 3-foot barrel, and exceptionally light, no? Boutet's genius. I don't believe he made more than a dozen of these, and I found 2 here. If you don't mind getting your hands dirty, you can polish up the other one. Truth is, I'd forgotten all about them. Seen enough guns by 1812 to think they are worth avoiding, I suppose. And now? Now, thanks to Midat Pasha's invitation, Yashim, I've discovered these beauties. Look at that dolphin on the trigger guard." "Midat Pasha's invitation?" "Duck, snipe. Sure you won't take a rag." "Midat Pasha has sent you to go shooting." "We call it wild fowling. I was about to send him my regrets when I remembered the old gun cupboard in the cellar. Marta produced the key." "And when you opened the cupboard?" "When I opened the cupboard, I found this sublime pair. Someone has left them in a shocking state. There's rust and fouling in the breech of this one, and of course the stocks need oiling." Yashim picked up one of the wooden stocks, slim and fine-curled, almost like a bird in flight. "There are a couple of good gunsmiths in the arms bazaar. I'll see how I do first." Palievsky squinted down the barrel. "This one's barrel seems perfect, but there's something wrong with the lock." Yashim nodded. "I know the feeling." Palievsky laughed. Yashim had something wrong with his firing mechanism too. He was a decade younger than his friend, well-built, dark, with curious grey eyes and a face that lit up with a smile. But Yashim was a eunuch. "Let's have tea." Palievsky threw down his rag. "Marta!" Upstairs, in the more familiar surroundings of Palievsky's drawing room, Yashim took a window seat and gazed out through the wisteria. "Tea!" exclaimed Palievsky, rubbing his hands. "You know, Yashim, I'm really looking forward to this shoot. It's 30 years since I went fowling, almost 40 since I did it for love." He approached his bookcases and began to rummage across the spines. "My father gave me my first gun when I was 10 years old. It was a German muzzle loader. He used to take me out really early in the morning, still dark in the frost. We went for duck on the ponds mostly with an English retriever. Once I shot a red kite, which made him furious. I had to draw it until my arm ached. We used the feathers to make flies for fishing, and I caught a trout." He smiled at the memory. "He wanted me to understand nature, not just kill it. Those early starts, they were a sort of communion. William Paley says that's the way to approach God, seeing the world as its creator had made it, learning its secrets. Nature's innocent," he added.